Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and today I get to interview Adie. So, Adie, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. So, Adie, can you please tell us your full type?
yes. Okay, so I'm an ENFP, NEFI, consume, play, sleep, blast. Yeah, and
Gotcha.
I'm a number 4, double
Okay,
feminine.
gotcha. And what did you think and how did you feel when you got your typing results back?
You know, it felt like coming home. It felt like coming home because before I started having profiling sessions, interviews with people to ascertain my type, and I barely got ENFP. I would get INFP, sometimes INFJ. Klaus typed me ESFP. And so, yeah, it feels like, oh, okay, finally someone validated the ENFP, basically. So, yeah, it was really cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if people were just visually typing you, you would look more ESFP than
Oh,
ENFP.
really?
And you have an ESFP
Yeah.
look to you for some reason.
Oh,
But
really?
I didn't like hear you talk and stuff. I would have probably picked like just out of like visual typing, obviously, which is
Yeah.
BS, right? Um,
Yeah.
It's like there's people who are type twins that are not even like the same type, right? Like what's her name? Like Katy Perry and like what's the other girl's name? The one that looks like her too? Like something.
Zoe de Chanel,
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly. Like they look the
Yeah.
same, but they're like completely different types, right? So um
What's Katy Perry?
yeah, she's an ESFJ and then Zoe's like an ESFP. So like it could not be even like how different it is. Like they shared like nothing in common. Like no, not even a single function. So um
Wow, yeah.
but they look the same, right? So you can't use the
Yeah.
looks game, right? So anyways, that's cool that you felt validated since you got like the ENFP typing. Has that changed anything for you since you got that typing result personally?
That changed anything. I suppose I'm a lot aware of that I need to work on blast, on blasting, and yeah. Otherwise, the rest it kind of makes sense because kind of lived it my whole life, but still the blast is quite big, so I'm still trying to make that like happen. Myself, yeah.
So, how do you feel about being the pure blood ENFP? Like you are literally like the purest blood ENFP. Like you are like, consume, play, sleep, blast is the actual like stack that like a typical ENFP would have, like the purest blood, like Myers-Briggs 16 personality type, like ENFP. Because like, any FI is like the top two highest function, any TE is like the second uh the highest, the two, and then you know, FISI is using your like second function and then your fourth, and then finally TESI, sorry, your fourth. So you're like the pure blood ENFP plus your first animal, which is NEFI, is double masculine. So that
Yeah.
uses your yeah, so that's pretty much like your NF is like the most powerful animal that you have, and it's double activated, right? So you're like the purest blood ENFP. Like, how do you feel about knowing that you're the pure blood ENFP?
Um, uh, the stereotype, like I think before younger, I would have been okay because that really resembled me. But as you get older, as that stereotypical ENFP, it kind of is like, no, I can't demand like respect from that, if that makes sense. It's everyone just kind of thinks of you as very ditzy, like what are you talking about? And so yeah, I struggled with that definitely. But I can't help it. Like everything is NF for me ever since I was little. So yeah.
Wait, people
Um
thought you were
mhm.
ditzy because of that NF?
Oh yeah, I've definitely had because it's really positive like all the time. I'm really like smiley and like bubbly. Yeah, and I suppose NF interest as well. Like what? Like it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but it makes sense to me. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about your double masculine, double activated NF consume first then. So let's look at the different parts of it. I'll start with something like funny first, and then we'll go with like the more deeper stuff, okay? So
Yeah.
what I've noticed, and I don't know if this is true for everyone, but I want to ask your perspective. Because your consume is double masculine, double activated, do you eat really aggressively and like really fast also?
I mean, I do eat fast. Like my partner is such a slow eater. Oh my word. Like I wait like all the time. Um, but I don't know about aggressively, but definitely the pace is fast, I would say. Yeah. Is that because of consume? Like that's
Yeah.
masculine. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
'cause double masculine, right? So I was asking you because my sister is an ENFP also, double masculine, NEFI. Like, so she's double feminine, her sexual modality, but like she's consume sleep play blast and like so a little bit different from you, like demon play, right? But like yeah, she eats so fast, like faster than me, and I eat pretty fast already. And she eats like so fast, and then she eats very aggressively too. Like if there's like there's like a bag of chips, she'll eat it like aggressively, like just like destroy the whole bag, you know. Uh, or like when we were kids, let's say I bought like a bag of Doritos, right? I'll have it in my room. She'll look at it. It's like, I don't like that flavor. I'm like, okay, And then like I come home from like school and it's like it's missing. She's like, I ate it. I'm like, you ate my I ate my food, like so
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I was asking you if you were also like a fast eater and also like aggressive, like can't help yourself because of that double masculine consume. I thought it was like a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I definitely love food, definitely. Yeah, more than my partner, 100%. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
love it.
Now for a more deeper question when it comes to that NF consume, so NF is correlated with meaning and purpose, and because NF consume is used for gathering, so essentially when you experience something new, do you feel like you have a better um do you feel like you almost get injected with like motivation, inspiration, that kind of stuff? Like for example, when you travel somewhere new or just have a new experience in general, like how do you feel about that?
Yeah, 1,000%. So I don't think I'm the traveler ENFP. But I consume a lot of film, a lot of TV shows, and the way that I used to describe it before is I'm looking for inspiration. I'm looking for my FI to be activated. Like I need the symbol and the theme to kind of like add a puzzle piece to my understanding of the world, if that makes sense, because I need to make sense of it.
Yeah.
So that's mostly how yeah, but the dopamine hit is very high. Like I would rewatch my favorite like films like straight after ending. I can like literally watch it again like straight after. It's quite insane. Yeah.
Do you watch it straight after because you forgot what happened or because of the feminine SI, or and then it feels like another new experience, or no? Like how does that feel for you?
It's like to keep feeling the emotion for me. But yes, I definitely forget details like in plots. Like my partner can't rewatch something too quickly because yeah, he's ENTP and he's got double activated SI.
Wait, you got type
So
also as an ENTP?
yeah, he's
Oh my
ENTP.
God, never heard of that. You're both EPs. Oh my God, both
Yes.
FI at the bottom. Oh my God,
Yeah.
how
It's
does that work?
terrible.
Like how do you guys function, or do you not function?
We've definitely had to find workarounds. But yes, SI, we yeah.
So
He's different.
what kind of ENTP is he again?
He's NETI,
Yeah.
double masculine,
Oh,
and double masculine, and then consume, sleep, blast, play. He's play last.
oh, play last. Oh wow, that's an interesting combination and double masculine too. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
using his feminine functions more than his masculine ones, kind of.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But it took us by surprise because we thought he's definitely, he's definitely OY, like or and DI. So we were thinking, okay, could you be, I don't know,
Well, he
INTJ or ISTP?
kind of has a lot of that because of the double masculine SF blast that he has at the bottom, right? And like double activated SI at the bottom. So he's gonna be very like OI like for like an EP, but he's still chaotic. He still can't avoid that, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an interesting pairing. But anyways, I want to go back to the other question again, to the NF consume. So
Mhm.
um Now, because your NF seems double masculine, do you feel like you kind of have a good memory of that like inspiration feeling? Like even if you didn't watch it again, like do you feel like you can kind of store it in you or no, or like it's gone after?
Yeah, because I remember feel how I felt watching something as opposed to what actually happened.
Right.
Um, yeah, basically. Like if like Dune's like the latest. Wow, this it's gonna beat Lord of the Rings for me. And like Lord of the Rings has been like my top for a really long time. And Dune, I I can't necessarily give you the detail of why it means so much to me, but I know it's like it gave me a lot of meaning. Yeah. Oh my God, sound ridiculous, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I get it. I like those kind of movies too. I saw Dune, so
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
my God, what did you think?
Yeah, no, I liked it. I like the second one more than the first one. But yeah, but I understood the first one was just like a setup, for the second one. So yeah, totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's kind of like
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. Like I like those kind of movies, like fantasy. So for sure. Now I want to ask you this follow-up question now. So you're blast last, right? So you get all this inspiration and emotional high, dopamine high. What do you do with it? Because like you need to do something with it, right? Because otherwise it goes to waste. You're just getting um like a dopamine high, then but then nothing's happening from it, right? So do you do anything with it or no? Like or like do you do the ST blast after? I know your ST blast is double feminine, but do you do anything with that like feeling or no? It kind of just like, oh no, I need just keep consuming more.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I have a friend, she's ENFJ, and she always asks me, okay, now that you have this insight, so like now what? And I hate that question
Yeah,
because it's like, well, what do you mean now what? But no, I do want to make something of it. Like I think like with profiling interviews, I always say like I just need time like by myself so I can write um what I actually like feel or give back what I've like learned from
right.
it. I watched your video on Blast and you had a line there. You said if you don't really consume anything if you don't do the blast. And I was like, oh my God, like that's
Yeah,
ouch. Um that's true. Yeah.
yeah. I stole that from someone. I didn't make that. I didn't make that.
Oh right.
No, I'm not. But it is true though, because like when I heard someone say that, I was thinking, I'm like, that is true. Yeah, because like you can consume stuff, but unless you're just doing it for entertainment purposes, then ultimately, you should do something about it. It's like, when you consume self-help books, right? But then you didn't make your life better, then you kind of just wasted your time, right? You know. But if you're watching Dune, obviously it's for entertainment, so like there's no expectation for you to change the world for the better, It's just purely for, to have a good time, right? To get that feeling of like, wonder and the fantasy, like the emotion from watching a fantasy film, right?
Yeah. Do you not get that though? Because it feels for me there is that sense of like responsibility, like I need to, oh, this is like the missing piece. If people knew about this, about our psyche and like how it plays out collectively, then it'll be a lot better. I definitely consume for entertainment, but the NF stuff, if it's definitely under NF, yeah, it is very present for me. Um, yeah,
Oh, so you're saying you feel like you need to share it to the world,
yeah,
and then there's
yeah,
something important that can be built from this.
yes,
Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what? So I know you're blast last, but have you tried to do something with that feeling, or have you made no attempt whatsoever? Like, what's your experience been like with that? I'm not trying to like make you look bad or anything. I'm just trying to.
No, 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 no,
Yep.
no. Um, yeah, no, not yet. Like my excuse that happens is I don't have enough puzzle pieces. I can't craft like the story yet.
Oh,
Because yeah, that's the main excuse. But I did used to write a lot on Instagram, a lot of NF stuff, but that stopped in 2017. Really haven't done much. That was the height of me being the ENFP, like pure blood.
yeah.
But yeah. But I don't know what happened. Well, it's a long story, but it feels like I need to be more SI. I need to be more realistic, like what's actually going to help instead of just, oh, this is an idea, it's an ideal. Yeah.
I feel like you need like an IJ partner if you want to make it come to fruition. Otherwise, it's just gonna go to waste, especially if it's
Yeah.
blast last. It's kind of hard. I can see how hard it is for people who are blast last to use their blast, especially if it's your like lower animals, like lower function, sorry, like TE and SI is in the very bottom, right? So I can see how hard it is. Like one of the questions I asked other ENFPs that I interviewed in the past, um, is like, how are you functioning? Because like I asked that like out of seriousness, actually. I know it's like it sounds funny, but I asked that because I have ST Blast as a savior, right?
Yeah.
I'm the only one in the community that has like the only ENFP that has Blast Savior. And I can tell you it's already so hard. Like I hate it. Like when I make those
Yeah.
explainer videos, I want to kill myself every time. I don't want to shoot myself. Like I just hate it so much. Like I just want to die. Like that's how I feel. I just want to die. It's so hard. It's so frustrating and it's so tedious. Like doing the SI. Like obviously I get it done because I force myself, but like I like the whole process is hell. It's pure hell. So if it's already that bad for me and I have it as a savior state, then I don't know how like what you guys are going through because you have it last, right? Is it just like
uh,
purely being avoided so you don't feel that emotion of like frustration and hell? Or have you tried to try it a little bit and you're like, too hard? Like what's your experience been like with that? Like,
yeah. Yeah. I really admire, like, by the way, your productivity, like it looks really productive to me. um so everything you've mentioned definitely resonate, but on top of that, like being a 4 too, like if you can't like sell success to me, because I just like it doesn't taste as delicious, if that makes sense. Like, okay, right, like, I know. So what I your face. So what I mean by that is I used to work in sales. I did really well for 1 month, and like top of the board, like for sales. But then after reaching that, I was like, oh, okay, and then like now what? Like for some people, it's like, okay, I'm gonna push myself more. What's the next thing? But for me, it's like, that's it. Like it's not as a big motivator. I think, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. So I suppose it's the motivation. Oh my God, motivation. Well, I mean, what motivates you to
well,
produce the videos?
no, I know it makes sense because you're motivated by the new experience. It's not like
Right.
it's not the goal to crush other people because you're not a number one. So the goal is purely for the new experience. Like, oh, this looks fun. Can I make it to number one? Yay, I did. Hooray. Now I don't care anymore. It's like
Yeah,
it's kind of
literally.
like that kind of deal. Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from, because I used to work in fitness and I had to sell like personal training contracts, and they're like expensive. They're like $5,000 to $7,000 contracts. But I've always wanted
Yeah.
I can get my name on the top of the board also. So I did do it. And once I got there, I'm like, I don't care anymore. So
Yes,
yeah, like I've done it once,
exactly.
don't care. Like I proved that I can do it.
Exactly.
I proved to myself that I can do it. I wasn't trying to prove to anyone else. I just wanted to see if I can do it, And I did. I pulled it
Yeah,
off. I'm like, okay, good enough. So
exactly.
now I don't care. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave this company. So I told
Exactly.
yeah, I know. That sounds horrible. But
No, not at all. It makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense for us. But like, I mean, we're like horrible employees as a result, right? Because we perform so well now. Now we're leaving. Like, what's like, the company would be so happy to finally have like the star employee, but then the employee doesn't give a shit, right? Like, they just want like get over the challenge essentially. Um, so my next question for you though is your play and your sleep. You have them in the middle, right? So you have
Mm-hmm.
NT play and SF sleep. Okay. So my first question is balancing those two. Like, obviously your lead play, so you're gonna expend energy on the front end and then preserve energy on the back end. how do you know when to hit the brakes for you personally? You're like, you know what, I've done enough work today, time to chill out and just recharge your energy.
Yeah. I don't think I have a problem, identifying if it's like enough. It's like because I take off. So my role, I speak to a lot of people too. So they're about 45-minute calls. And then afterwards, I know I have to kind of like decompress because it was a lot of like this is a very like heightened state for me. So I'm pretty aware, like that I need like my rest. I make sure that I have that. Like it's not like a problem for me. I think my problem is making plans like with friends. It's like actually like doing the going out. Um like that's one of the things that I want to work on, that I initiate like friend dates, if that makes sense. Because I don't, because I want to protect my like weekend like to myself basically, and to like my partner. So yeah. I don't know
So
if that's
when people invite you, you don't go out then?
um no, I do, but I don't want it too spontaneous either. Like I want to be able to like prepare for it. Like, we can schedule that in like 2 weeks. So I'm prepared. I so maybe that's not too.
So you never had a friend come over like your place out
Oh,
of the
don't
blue?
do that to me. Don't do it. I can't. That's too much.
Really? You don't think you would enjoy it? Because like you're still an EP and you're like chaotic and stuff, and it's like, you know what? You're like, oh, this is new, or no?
mm, I to be honest, because it's like oh, what if like the place is a tip, because like we're both ENPs here, like I have to prepare. Maybe it's the Filipino custom of you, the house needs to be spotless before anyone can come over.
Really? Is that a
um
cultural thing?
my mum is with my mum 100%, yeah.
Okay. You have an IJ
You
mom.
probably, yeah, definitely high SI, yeah, 100%. But yeah, no.
Well, it's like my mom's house is like she'll do the cleaning before people come over, but it still looks like a mess after she cleaned it. So like I just feel like you didn't really it didn't change that much, So and yeah, but anyways, okay, that's cool to know that that's how you preserve your energy. I guess,
Mm.
but if you weren't talking to so many people for your job, would you be more spontaneous then? Like let's say you have like the whole week is like open to do whatever. You don't have to make any calls or whatever. Would you be more spontaneous then? Because you're like, oh, I have the whole week, then I
Yeah.
have a lot of play. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. It's because you're tired from work, so you need to decompress. And like,
Yes, probably, yeah.
no, it's not like you're trying to blow off people. It's just because you're tired, you're working, so it makes sense. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's why I
yeah.
wanted to ask you if you were free the whole week, like the whole 7 days. Then yeah, of course you would like, yeah, hell yeah, let's go play, right? Because then you have nothing to do, right? You know.
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
Um,
definitely.
Now your play is NT, right? How do you go about like, problem solving with a tribe, And it's not personal too, right? Because it's play.
Yeah, I need to understand that more. Like, could you, because I suppose in sales, that's very NT play too, isn't it? Because you're trying to.
What are you selling?
So I work for a coaching school. So people who want to train to become transformative coaches, basically.
What is
And
that?
so,
Like
yeah,
life coaching or something? Or
could be life coaching, could be leadership coaching. But yeah.
well, so are you doing sales call to get people to enroll in the school, or are you like what are you doing?
I so maybe differentiating sales, it's not really the hard sales. I don't know if the hard sales approach still works like to this day. I think people are intelligent and they're going to make their own decisions, so it's it's not gonna wait. Smiling about that.
Huh? Because you said
Do you disagree?
people are intelligent. I'm like,
Okay,
But anyway, keep going.
okay. Okay, maybe the people who we attract at Animath, because it's just so condescending to like, okay, I have to do some, sales tactics maneuvers to get you to enroll in the course. No, if you want to, if you have the information, you want to do it, you're going to do it. So, but essentially, I'm listening to their stories, why they want to be coaches, why they want to retrain. I meet a lot of older people who are moving away from corporate jobs. So that's always interesting to hear. And then yeah, basically, if they have any other questions about like moving forward, that's that. So I suppose that's problem solving too, with the tribe, right? Like, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what you explained made sense to me. Like, that's
Okay, great.
yeah, like basically when you are on those calls, you're doing soft selling because it's not aggressive, but you are still selling regardless. You're just doing it in an NT play way, meaning like you're trying to understand their situation first before you make a
Yes,
recommendation, right? So you
yes.
have high consume,
Mhm.
which helps, and then you have NF consume, so you can read the vibe of this person, right? And then the NT is like figuring out a solution with that other person, right? To see what would
Yes.
work best for them. Yeah, like I did that when I was in personal training too, right? Like when I was selling personal training contracts, like instead of looking at the person in front of me as an adversary to like, um, it's like
Conquer.
me
Yeah.
versus them to try to convince them to sign a contract for like $7,000 for personal training. And then I do it more in a collaborative way. Like I'll be like, hey, I really want to train you. I feel like we could really get you to your goals. So I understand that money is the problem. So let's figure out, the word figure out is NT, right? So let's figure out a solution to this that maybe we could come up with something that would work for you. So that's what I
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
right? So that's NT play, right? And then like I'll go through all the option, because like the Annie's like, what about this? Like what, like all the possibilities,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
all the possibilities
Exactly.
and T's like if it's gonna work. So let's look at all the possibilities and see which possibility will work for you, kind of deal.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. I didn't know that personal training contracts can go up. Well, yeah, 5 to 7K. That's wow.
yeah. In the gym I worked at before, they sold big contracts where like you have to train 3 times a week with a personal trainer for the whole year. Like that kind of deal. It's not like, oh, I just bought one session, I want to learn a program. No, you're training with a person for like the entire year.
So it's the
I'm,
whole package. That makes sense. Mhm.
I'm actually a big believer in it. I think people should buy it because like when I worked there, I had a client who signed up for 1 year, and after 1 year, he had a 6 pack. So you drop $7,500, $7,400, and you actually got a 6 pack, and you get to keep it because you know how to work out now. That is worth what you paid for. Like legit, that is worth it. Like
That's
you
life.
know how
Yeah.
much money people drop to look good? Like if you just
Yeah.
got really fit, you can look good in any clothes, right? And then you know, so I'm a big believer in it
It's
for sure.
true.
And I had this one client, she was like this one woman. She was going through a divorce. She had like 5 credit cards that was maxed out. Okay, 5 credit cards maxed out, right? Like she's clearly in debt, going through a divorce. She has 2 kids, no job, right? And I convinced her to buy a $3,000 personal training contract
Yeah.
for
Yeah. Wow.
4.5 months, which I actually felt like unethical when I convinced her. But like at that point, I was like, because you have 5 credit cards maxed out, like she owes like what, like I don't know, 25 grand on those credit cards or something. So this woman has
It's
no
true.
money. She has no money. She has no job. But I convinced her to sign this contract, and I felt bad about it because I felt unethical. But then I also at that point I was living by myself, and if I didn't sell this contract, I would be evicted. I need to pay rent, right? So it's even
Okay.
better you than me, right? Kind of deal.
Okay.
Um, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of dark,
But
but
that
like I wanted to make sure that after she started training, I'm gonna do my absolute best job to get her as fit as possible. Uh,
exactly.
and
Exactly.
and and then when we started training, um she started losing weight. She started getting really really strong. Like she was like the first female I've ever trained that was able to chest press 35 pounds on each side with dumbbells. I don't know what that. Do you use kilos or pounds? Because you're in the UK, right?
Kilos.
But do you know
Yeah,
pounds? Because you're
kilos.
also from the Philippines. Do you understand
Oh
it?
God, no. No, no. No.
So, okay,
Yeah.
so 35 pounds is divided by 2.2. I have a calculator here because I'm an NT nerd.
Thanks. That's
So,
good.
okay, so it's 15.9 kilo per side for the dumbbell. So this woman, right?
Wow,
This
that's
woman in her like
incredible.
late 30s, I think, or early 40s,
Yeah.
pushing that much weight on each arm, right? That is sick. That is so sick, right?
Well
Um,
done, you too, as a trainer. That's incredible, getting her there.
yeah, and then I don't know what type she was, but she's like a flake for sure. She always tried to bail out from our training session, right? So I would be on the phone with her, convincing her she needs to show up because like it's good for her. She'll feel better about herself, and then she will show up, and she'll always thank me like, oh, this is what she paid for, is to convince her to show up, right? You know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
And
my
then
God, that's
and then
awesome.
yeah, so after we finished our training session, guess what? She got a job. She fixed her marriage, so they canceled the divorce. She started a business, made a lot of money, paid off all her debt. And I was like, oh my God, when you take care of your body, everything's like a domino effect. And now I don't feel bad like if someone has to rack up that credit card to fix themselves. I feel like sometimes you just need one thing to be doing well in your life. Get
Not
it?
working. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like that's like NF right there, right? Like no one can
Exactly.
no, like if you have someone ST talking to you, right? They'll be like, that's irresponsible. If you crunch the numbers, you know, that person is going to be in debt and they're going to be screwed, right? But then if you look at the
Yeah.
NF, you're like, no, but because that renewed energy and inspiration and the feel good about themselves, suddenly they have the confidence to tackle other things, and fix other
Exactly.
things, right? It's like NF is so powerful, but like, a lot of lead STs with like NF last, they don't respect the NF. So it becomes a problem, right? Um,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
so
You
anyway,
just explained, you really, I love that, by the way. I was like, when you said, and then she started becoming really successful, in my head I was like, okay, ethical problem, like ticked, like that's like gone.
yeah,
But it's so true, that's what we talk about, like in transformative coaching too. Like if you do it in the internal, the NF, it's transformative because it, like you said, one area, it affects many areas. It's all so connected. Yeah, agreed. It's
now
amazing.
the thing though that I'm wondering though is transformative coaching, is that like an NF program that you're selling though? Because like I feel like when you do personal training, it's actually you're doing ST and SF, so it's still S,
Yes, yes,
and then
yes,
there's like
yes,
an S result, and then the NF follows after that, right? you know
exactly.
so what's in your field then? What's going on? Like what are you selling? Are you selling something that's like an NF? Are you selling something SF, ST? Like what is the product, right? Or NT?
I would definitely say it's the NF because it's the closest type of work to counseling, but it's still coaching. So the way that we explain it is, yes, conventional coaching is very much in the performance. So like you said, ST and SF,
Yeah,
but what we're trying to facilitate as much as possible is that internal reflection. What's actually driving you? What are the motivations underneath? What are the core beliefs and core paradigms that's running you?
right.
So yeah, the course is, you still have the grow model, the smarter objectives, but then you go to CBT, person-centered, transactional analysis. So it's a lot of psychology and philosophy throughout
Okay.
the course too. So yeah.
Okay, I see. So there's some ST stuff there and NT stuff also mixed
Yes.
into it. I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So yeah, it sounds like you're doing NT for your job then. Like when you're doing the sales
Yeah.
calls, you are doing NT, like
Yes.
collaborative problem solving to convince the other person to sign up kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And then for your sleep, you have SF sleep, right? So how is your SIFI routine like for your health? So exercise, nutrition, sleep, and mental health. Like how would you rank yourself in each of those four categories?
Well, when you were talking about the 5-7K like plan, I was like, I would probably actually get results with that because it's a big enough number that would push me, because motivating myself to exercise is just, it feels like the most impossible task. Like
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like I mean, we walk every single day, like that's very much like the movement, but thinking of like lifting weights, it's just, yeah, it's not my strong suit.
A lot of ENFPs lift weights and they love it when they start getting into it. Like it is
So I should.
yeah, my sister, she always hires trainers too, or like coaches.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, like she'll like I had a coworker that ended up becoming her personal trainer. My coworker also became my personal trainer. So even though I was a personal trainer, I also hired personal trainers. Uh, and then
Makes sense.
just to learn something new, like especially if I really felt like that person knew a lot, then I would want to pick their brain. So that person that was training me and my sister was an ISTP.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so he was teaching us like a lot of stuff. I don't know what type he was. If I had to guess, maybe he was like TINI, maybe, like I think he was
Yeah.
consume last. Maybe he was like a sleep last play consume or something. But anyways, like he knew his stuff in that one area. And then yeah, my sister, she said I need to get training because I eat too much, and like she said like I said she said it plainly, like I work out so I can eat whatever I want. That's why I work out. That's what she said, right? Like
Yeah.
that's her
Yeah.
motivation. Like she wants to eat like a
Mhm.
giant bag of Lay's, right? Like then she'll go to the gym first, right? Do like an hour or two of like workout, and then she'll go destroy the bag of chips after, right? So it's like,
Wow. I mean, balance, right? Like,
yeah, it's balanced, right? So it's just like a net. She didn't make it a, what do you call it? Like in terms of like body composition, there's no change, but she did
so
get
no
physically
zero.
strong. But she got physically stronger, so she's a net plus though. You know,
Okay, great. Yeah.
yeah, she's still lifting a lot of weights, right? So like she can do a full pull up, which is like really hard for women, right? Yeah, like
Wow.
yeah, exactly. So and then she has like injuries that's the same as me because we're like siblings. We have the same body issues, which is kind of funny. But yeah, no, for sure. I think like coaches is like huge. Like I'm a big believer in coaches. Like I always hire like personal trainers, even though I'm already one. And I see a psychologist too. So like I'm a big believer in like getting a mentor or coach. I think it's like definitely like really good. Um, but so
Great.
back to you. So exercise is not the best. You do the walking, which is like better than nothing kind of deal.
Yes.
But obviously
Yeah.
you can improve more. What about like nutrition, mental health, and sleep?
Oh my God, nutrition. So ever since this year, what my partner and I kind of agreed, we have to make sure that Sundays we meal prep because otherwise, like everything is absolutely effed. Like after, if we don't do that, because we're not gonna cook after like a day's work. Like it's but there's scheduling things too. But yeah, we make sure that we have pre-cooked vegetables because otherwise we're just not going to eat vegetables. It's just terrible. Basically, we're working on it. Like it's such a real struggle. Mental health, I think I'm okay at the moment, but I definitely have had counseling and coaching very similar to you. And what was the other one?
Sleep,
Sleep.
like physical sleep.
I guess I get like 6 hours. I don't like I keep waking up like after that. Do you think it's because maybe it's like a not you have demon sleep, like you don't sleep? I know that's actually not, that's probably not a thing.
I think that is a thing. I really
Is
believe.
it, it's a thing.
Yeah. No, I mean I think it's not just like a woo woo, objective personality bullshit personality type thing. Like, oh yeah, you have sleep loss, you're gonna have bad sleep. What really impressed me about objective personality is after I learned I was sleep loss, I did my 23andMe test, like the DNA test, and it actually said
Yeah.
I sleep bad in the tests and like my DNA test. It actually said I
Yeah.
sleep bad, and then went to see a psychologist like, and then just last year, and then I got diagnosed with ADHD, right? So and then like, oh yeah, yeah. So I mean, of course, everyone with NE probably has ADHD. I bet, either inattentive or hyperactive. Anyways, the point is, people with ADHD are more likely to sleep bad also. And then
Yeah.
um, and then I went to a sleep clinic because I went to my doctor. I'm like, I sleep really bad. Can I do a sleep test just to see if I have like sleep apnea? And then I went there and I'm like, oh yeah, you have sleep apnea, moderate. So
Oh
now I have
no.
the
Yeah.
CPAP machine, which actually helps a lot. Now I can wake up refreshed, which is awesome. Like I haven't felt refreshed in so long, which is like great, you know.
Oh my God, that's incredible. I should really look into that too. Do you think I have a question with NE and ADHD? Do you think ADHD is actually a thing, or it's actually more of our personality, or actually it's just talking about it's describing the same thing? Because yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if, like if you have any, you automatically have ADHD. I feel like you do. That's my belief.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah,
Oh.
NE is ADHD. That's what I feel like. Or N in general. Like if you have NI, maybe you have inattentive ADHD or something. You know, you're not paying attention because you're like locked into that NI thing, right? I mean, I have
Yeah.
both. I have inattentive and hyperactive because I'm play blast, right? So hyperactive and I consume sleep. So
Wow, yeah.
inattentive, right? So the swing,
Yeah.
like your swing is gonna be weird. You're like consume play and then sleep blast. So you go from like what do they call it? The David Chan call it like skib to douchebag. That's your swing, supposedly.
Accurate. Yeah.
Like when you
Yeah.
finally blast, it's like very like douchey because it's like one way with no ping back and forth kind of deal. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds
So
accurate.
that's why you're a double decider. Anyway, so um yeah, so I think with ADHD, it's like you're just looking for dopamine, right? Which makes sense. That's why you're like the NE is like craving like new experiences. That's why you're like rewatching the same show so you can get high off like that emotion. It's because
Yeah.
you're low in dopamine. That's what it means, right? Um,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah,
With a play too with people. Sorry, God.
um, yeah. So basically, what my psychologist said is like, yeah, if you have ADHD, then you need to exercise 100% because the exercise like um curbs ADHD a little bit. It does help a lot, especially if you do cardio, but like weights and cardio is the best. I did notice it during the pandemic. Like I started doing like daily cardio, and then I was trying to make like explainer videos back then, and I was like really struggling because I don't want to do the SI right. But I noticed when I did the cardio and I went to do the explainer video, I still hated it, but I was able to do it. I think that's like the big.
Mm,
So I feel like it that makes a huge difference. It's like if you can still do something even if you hate it, like that changes everything, right? Because if you just hate it but you don't do it, you kind of feel bad because you feel like you should be doing it. Um,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
then
exactly.
if you do it and you hate it, you feel good after because you've done it. It's like done, it's finished, right? You were miserable for the
So
moment, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say because I, never, I don't know if it's never, but like the feeling good after a workout, like I don't know if I experienced that. Maybe am I doing like exercise wrong?
I think so.
Oh God. Okay, right. Well, what am I doing wrong? What do you think? What do you
Well, okay,
theorize?
so this is just my any guess, but I'm guessing when you work out, you kind of just went to the gym and did whatever. Like you didn't have like a
Uh, Gone.
yeah, did you have like a proper plan? Like do it the right way? Like
Plan or what plan?
yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah,
I'm joking. Yeah.
yeah, I
I
felt
did have a personal trainer. So
so how
this
did
is
that
funny.
go?
I stayed for about like 2 months, but then I was like, this is because he gave me the same workout like 3 times like a week.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's death by boredom for me after that. So yeah, but I know I need to do it, so maybe I should. Uh
Well, you
let's
do
see.
need to do the same exercise, but not 3 times a week. Like if there's 3 days a week, then that same exercise should be just once of the week. The other 2 days should be a
Has to be different.
different set of exercise. So I feel like um yeah, maybe your trainer, I don't know what he was trying to do, but I feel like you just need to find a different trainer. That's what I
Okay.
think. I think you need to try a few trainers before you find one that you click with. Because I think when you find the right trainer for the gym, you're not just working out, you're also like talking shit with each other and gossiping and have like it's fun. Like I like, so it's like and then you're getting fit at the same time, right? So yeah, I
That's
think
good advice.
I don't think you had the right trainer. So I would think, and yeah, I think you should try like female trainers too and male trainers. Like try a
Mm,
bunch of different ones. See if you click with
mhm.
any particular. Like my sister who had trainers, she doesn't like female trainers, so she only goes with male trainers. But I know like
Really?
yeah, and my girlfriend also only prefers male trainers too, right? But like I know like other women, they only want female trainers. They only feel comfortable with female trainers, right? So,
Yeah.
so, but like, or you can be in between, right? Like you don't have a preference. So I think you should try like a bunch of different ones. Just like get one session and see how you feel. See if you click with this person, right? And then if you do, then I think you're more likely to stick to the program, right? So I just feel like your trainer let you down a little bit. Maybe not let you down. Maybe you guys weren't the right fit. I think that's the right the thing. So yeah, and then because usually after you work out, you should feel good about yourself, right? Like especially if it's like the right fit. Because like I have
Mm.
clients that me and that client we don't click. We absolutely like the worst client for me are the ENFJs, right? Like no,
Okay,
no
okay, I
offense to the
can
ENFJs, but every time I know I have a client that's an ENFJ, this is not gonna last long. Like I know it's not gonna last long because I already have the track record, like the SI track record. Me and ENFJs, we don't get along. Even at work, like when I work with an ENFJ, we don't get along. Like it's gonna go
really
bad.
like
Yeah, yeah. ENFJ is like what the type I clash with the most, especially the standard ENFJ. Like I'm okay with the jumper ones, but the standard one we don't mesh. You know, there's always like
because
it's
this
a personality clash. You know, that's what it is, right?
okay. Mhm.
Yeah, you might get along with them.
Interesting.
Yeah, you might get along with them, but like, you know, like I have no
I
friends that are
feel like
ENFJs. I have ESFJ friends, but I have no ENFJ friends. I have had I've had jumper ENFJ friends before, but it also doesn't last. You know, because like I mean ENFJs are like oil and water, right? So you're gonna have something like that, but for a different type. You know, I think everyone has something like that. It is what it is, right? Um,
yeah. Okay, that makes wow, that's so interesting. I feel like if I were to find a trainer, I need like a just don't allow any excuses, just like a David Goggins, just like do it.
so
I
you need a
feel
trainer
like
like
that
that
would
that would like fire.
probably no, because at this point, I feel like as an NF, someone just needs to like kick me so hard in the butt and not like let me be like, oh, but I could, yeah, I feel like I need that
Oh,
for me.
you need like a drill sergeant, like a double masculine S.
Maybe, probably.
Oh, or like someone in double
Probably.
masculine ST in general, I feel like is like a good fit for you. Because like that's your
Okay,
opposite.
I'm just in my, I don't know in the real world, but in my head, it's like I probably need that if I want to kind of, get stronger. Yeah.
I also feel like if you and the person you're working with like have the same kind of animal flavor, it just goes so well. Like I remember I was training this one Korean girl. She she was on I typed her pretty quickly because it was pretty obvious she was play last. Like she doesn't ping when I talk to her. Like I said something, she doesn't say anything back, right? I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
I mean, she did after like after 2 months she did, but the first month
Yeah.
she wasn't saying anything, right? But I
Okay.
noticed she can blast because like when I asked her to describe to me what her job is, she explained to me like clearly. Like I'm like, oh, so she has a moat, but she can blast. So I knew she was play last, right? So, but I knew like, but like when I was training her, it went like really well, like because I have anti play and she had anti sleep. She was like NITI, and then my second animal is ST blast, and she had ST consume second, and then third I had NF consume, and she had NF blast, right? And then lastly, we're both SF blast, right? I'm SF sleep, she's SF play. So the fact that we had like the same animal stack when I was coaching her, it felt like it was kind of easy to navigate. And I gave her like very what do you call it? Like clear ST goals. Because I asked her, like, what's your goal? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you one then.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you one then. You know, because like I
Good.
like after being in the industry for so long, I know there's people who don't know what they want. So I'm like, I'll tell you what you should want, you know?
That's good. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I need. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So I did. I'm like, so okay, this is what we're gonna do. Your deadlifts, we need to get them to the big 45-pound plate, which is like 20 kilogram on each side. Okay, we're gonna get she's a tiny girl. She was like, I don't know, probably like 40 kilogram or something. She's like a tiny girl, right? So I'm like, no, you're gonna be deadlifting, in your case, like 20 kilogram on each side of the bar. The barbell's already 20 kilogram, right? So
Right. Wow. Yeah.
it's like super heavy, right? And then and I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, and then you're gonna do a full chin up and a full pull up. Because I told her, I'm like, only 1% of females can do it. So we need to make you the top 1%. That's what I told her. And
Wow.
then
Wow.
I don't know what type she was. I don't know like what social type she was. I feel like she saved your friends, even though she was like that. Like it feels like she saved her friends. Maybe a 4, maybe a 3, who knows? But the point is like, so I gave her all those goals, right? And I noticed like when we were trying to do the pull-ups and chin-ups, like she was struggling, right? But I was like, so you're struggling today, so I'm using my anti play, right? So I'm like trying to figure out, I'm like, why can't she finish this? Why can't she do this pull-up? I'm like, is this like an NF problem? Like she doesn't
Yeah.
she doesn't believe she can do it? or is this like an S, maybe an SF, or like maybe a sleep problem?
Didn't
Like maybe
sleep. Yeah, exactly.
she didn't nourish herself properly with the right food.
Mm. Mhm.
So I think what really worked for her when she finally did her first pull up, it only took 4 months. I was shocked. Was like,
Wow.
yeah,
That's incredible.
from nothing. She's never worked out in the gym before. So I was like, I think this is an inspiration problem. That's what I thought, right? So I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all the females I know that works in the gym I worked at to come show her what a female pull up looks like, a female doing a full pull up. Okay. So I got my coworkers. I remember I had this one coworker, she was wearing heels. Like she like ran into the gym and she jumps up the bar, does a full up, wearing like full work clothes. And then my client was so shocked, right? She's like, she didn't even warm up. She just ran there wearing heels and like jumps up the bar and does a full pull up. She's a Filipino girl too. And then runs off, goes back to her office after, because I'm getting all my coworkers to show her, right? Because I knew I have some coworkers that can do full pull-ups, and I had like this other coworker.
Wow.
She's like the Chinese girl. She's like bigger. She's kind of like a kind of chunky build, but she can do a pull-up. She's like strong, right? So I got her to do a pull-up too, right? And then she's like, I think she's like consume sleep. She's like really mopey. So she was really pissed off at me for like making her do it, right? She's like, I
Yeah.
fucking hate you, Kendrick. That's what she said to me, right? And I'm like, thank you, Aunt. Like, I'm like, thank you. That's what I said to her, right?
Thanks. Exactly.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
you know. And then after my client saw like all this like women being able to do a pull-up, she did her first pull-up the week later. She believed she can
Oh
do it. She believed that she
man.
can do it. Like she just believed, like the belief change, right? So,
Okay.
so I feel like
That's
yeah,
good advice.
you have to go like try out like a bunch of different trainers before you you settle. Like be like, oh yeah, I did work.
Absolutely.
You tried it once, So um anyways,
Thank you for that NF stuff.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was inspiration. That's good.
100%. Let's cover your social type because I have another interview coming up, so we gotta
Okay,
speed.
sure.
So your social type is 4, so you're high friends. Can you talk about a little bit about being demon flex and like what that is like for you?
Demon flex. I noticed that I have a reaction, an annoyance, like an annoyance, like when I see flex like in others.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think that's how I see it. Mainly like it, and the thoughts around it is very much okay, right? You're flexing and getting to the top, and then at the end of your life, like what did that mean to you? Like what, like it goes back to um the NF. Like, but I also realized that it's because I haven't integrated my flex. Like I find it hard to like, oh, I have this, I have this achievement or like that achievement. Like it just doesn't come naturally, I suppose. Yeah.
So you have low drive, right? Because you're a 4. Like you're not driven to succeed, right? Like you're not driven for like achievement.
Mhm.
Like you're a number 4, so you have a tendency to chase hobbies and interests. You know,
Yeah.
and then work is
Yeah.
a specialized thing. You do your specialization and you go home, and then that's good.
Yeah.
You don't want anything more
Yeah.
than that, and that's good enough for you, right? You're happy with that.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, I notice a lot of number 4s get triggered by the number 1's flex, and like especially like when it comes to ethics, where like they'll like they say destroy a rainforest to make profit, right? Or stuff like that, right? Or like make the working condition hard for like let's say sweatshops and whatnot. Like no care at all for the well-being of the people. It's all for profit and all for like to achieve, right? You know.
Yeah.
Um,
What are the savior? So one is flex and is it
Generalist.
responsibility?
It used to be called responsibility. They just changed it to generalist. They have broad responsibility. Broad
Right.
responsibility. Yeah, because number 3 is a narrow responsibility. Just this one
I
thing.
see.
Yeah, that's why number 3's their life is falling apart everywhere else because they're like hyper good in this one thing and everything else falls apart.
Oh,
Yeah, for the number
okay.
3s, I've seen that a lot. But the smart number 3s, they hire coaches, so like because you outsource it to other people and then you're good, right? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But I
anyway,
appreciate the ones like, like when they do well because I don't have to do that. Like, great, you've
Yeah.
You've created like the best product. Yeah, you know.
But that's number threes, right? The number threes create the best product.
Oh, best product. Okay, well,
The
so
number
what do
ones,
ones do then?
the number one is this number ones are it's like a decider thing, you know. Like number four is like an EJ almost, right? And number ones is almost like an IP, right? You know, like number
Oh,
threes is more like
mhm.
IJ, and number two is like EP, right? So it's like
Nice.
um yeah. So you're gonna have like decider problems for like the high flexor people. Like you'll kind of get triggered by them, you know.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
But they can insult you, right? They can be like, me chasing flex my whole life, eh? It's useless, eh? What about you? What did you do with your life? Oh, you're nobody, you know? Like, how would you feel about that if they said that to you? Like,
Oh yeah. Okay.
double decider, you don't care?
Uh,
Yeah.
just what do you want me? Do you want a reaction from me? What do you want? I'll give that to you so you can
Yeah.
go.
I think Dave said that a lot of number fours when they're older, when you're young, you don't really think about it. When they're older, like, I should have done something that like
I'm feeling that now, but
kind of
yeah,
okay.
kind of.
Um, yeah, because I have flex and friends in the middle, so I can like double decide in them kind of. So when I see number
Uh-huh.
fours squandering their talent, and then I see the one,
Ouch.
and I see the ones like going overboard with the status shit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I think you can still have status and friends. You didn't have to get rid of your friends to have status. Like you can have both. You don't need to do that, you know. If you're really buried in work, you can still see your friends once a year, and that's really all you need to maintain relationships, you know. Um,
Yeah.
like that's right. Like, and you can even squeeze them in the same week. Like let's say it's like the last week of December or whatever. Like yeah, now see all your friends every day, like different friends, family, and then you're done. You don't see them for the whole year, and that's fine, right? For the number of ones, right? You know. Yeah, and then number four is like you could find something to flex about. Like it could be something small, but I think because like Dave said, number twos have a chill flex, so um, we'll like brag about something, but it's not long enough it becomes cringe. So it's like brag, get out, right? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like when I got my social type back, because he thought it was a four, right? I was like, no, dude, I don't think I'm a four. I think I'm a two. You know, I don't think I'm missing flex. That's what I said to him, right?
Right.
I
Right.
always,
Right.
I'm
Mhm.
like, and I told Dave, I'm like, I would tell people I've been to 100 countries. That's my flex, you know? Like, yeah. And
Yeah.
I drop that and I go. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you are doing that, And then you have a
That
YouTube
makes
channel
sense.
and your name is attached to it. So it's like, oh, okay, you're not,
Okay. Number two.
yeah, number two, right? So,
Number two.
yeah. So yeah. So
That's
in
good.
your case, then you're not missing responsibility. Because I noticed a lot of number fours. This is how you tell someone's a number four. Like, are you missing responsibility or not? And like a lot of number fours are not, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like
I think
it's activated. Like you're not screwing up your life, right? Like you have it enough that you know how to like do the right
get
things.
by.
Yeah, to get by.
Yeah.
To do the right things so
Yeah.
nothing falls apart, right? You know?
Yeah.
Because like a lot of number threes, their life is falling apart. So
Yeah. My partner's number three. Need to make sure that that doesn't happen.
then you have to take the responsibility then, which is gonna be annoying
Yes.
because then it's a demon. But then someone has to do it.
Yes.
Someone has to do it, right? Um,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I definitely need to work on that. Like the flex, for it not to be like so, you know, I don't want to be, I don't want to kind of demonize it too much. Because yeah,
Yeah.
stuff
Just enough.
happens.
Just enough.
Just
Like
enough.
just like your responsibility. Just enough to get
Yes.
by, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right,
Oh.
Adie. So thanks for reaching out to do this interview. I know you went through Klaus to do it, but you still
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
I always find
Yeah.
it
It was
funny. It's like
lovely.
there's people that do it your way where they'll like get other people to connect. And there's people who
Just
just like
Klaus.
there's people who just like literally just message me. They're like, "Hey man, can you interview me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Wow.
I'm like high play,
What
like
it
sure, you
Oh
know.
my God. Yeah, no, I can't do that. But yeah,
Yeah,
thanks to Klaus too for like doing it. And thank you. That was, yeah, thank you for facilitating it. That was really
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was fun for sure. All right, take care.
good.
I'll see. I'll
Take care.
yeah. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.